welcome. You're watching the Social Network now in a landmark ruling by the CIC, the Central Information Commission. All political, well, 6 political parties are now brought under the ambit of the RTI. And of course, the key things that of course are being talked about is the extreme amount of financial transparency it will bring in. And of course, the difference being that all the funds under 25,000 rupees will have to be accountable for, and it makes you and me, every single citizen, a citizen journalist for just 10 rupees. You know exactly what your party is doing. So on the Social Network, we ask, parties resist the RTI as public representatives. Aren't they answerable to the public? Of course, lots and lots of reactions coming in from the political parties on that. But let's quickly introduce our panelists for the day today. In the studio with us, we've got Anil Berwad, who is the petitioner and really is one of the key people and key faces responsible for making this landmark judgment. Thank you, sir, so much for coming in. He is from the Association for Democratic Reforms. We've also got Shehzad Poonawala from the Congress. Thank you, Shehzad, for coming in. And we're also joined by Dr. S.Y. Qureshi, who is the former Chief Election Commissioner. From the Mumbai studio, we're joined by Madhukeshwar Desai, who is the National Vice President of the BJP's Youth Wing. Thank you all so much for coming in. And we're also joined on a video call by Abhinandan Sekhri, who's the Managing Editor of newslaundry.com. Thank you, Abhinandan, for joining us on a video call. I want to start with you first, Anil, sir. Of course, this is a big ruling in so many ways. To quote somebody, it actually screws most of the political parties. So, take us through what would be the key, things that political parties now have to be accountable for, and why are they shaking in their knees?
Yeah. Well, let me first say that I don't think it screws the political parties. I think it strengthens the political parties in the real democratic fashion. Political parties have been resisting any attempt to open them, to make them transparent. There have been several reports of various commissions, even recent Justice Verma's report before he passed away. Even every report has said that we need to make our political parties more open, transparent and accountable, but political parties have not given in. I think what this ruling does is it forces the political parties that now you have to make yourself more transparent.
Yeah.
When it comes to financial transparency, the most important thing here is that there are a lot of parties which get a lot of funding. There is even one political party which has got more than 400 crores of donations.
Yeah.
But
most of it, isn't the key thing right now that most of them use the fact that under 20,000 rupees is not something that they have to disclose and get away with so much of that?
Absolutely, yes. And Election Commission has written to the Law Ministry saying that you should make political parties accountable for any money, even if it is single rupee. You should ask them, where are you getting this money from? But Law Ministry also belong to one of the political parties. Absolutely. And they have not done nothing.
In fact, that's what the CIC has said, that so many of the government institutions by proxy are run by the ruling party, and so why should it not be public? But Shehzad, I want to ask you, as a young Congress member, you tweeted to us and said, morally, we should support this, but legally there may not be a passage to do it. Why is your party then turning around and saying that this is too adventurous and it is against a democratic approach?
See, there's a legal argument which is very valid. The CIC has exceeded its mandate in making this order simply because, merely because a body caters to public interest does not by itself qualify to become a body having public character. For example, the media, you too cater to public interest, but you're not a public authority, you're a private entity, right? So will you also be entitled to come under the RTI by the same logic?
We'll talk about
one second.
We'll talk about the media
and a lot of media organizations, the ones situated in Noida and the ones situated in Bombay, get a lot of free land.
So
does that make you a public character?
It's not about media.
So now,
we don't sit in the parliament.
That's fine. But
no, that's not fine.
No.
That is the key thing. In fact, I'm just going to bring in Dr. Qureshi. Dr. Qureshi, Shehzad's argument is that...
One second. We, as far as sitting in parliament is concerned, political parties are not unaccountable. We file our returns with income tax and we also give an account of every money spent to the election commission, and anybody can approach the election commission and get the details of the donors.
Okay, no, I'm going to bring in Dr. Qureshi on this. Dr. Qureshi, Shehzad is saying that, that there is no difference between the media and the political parties, and the political parties, they should not be subject to the day-to-day functioning as well, and the CIC is overstretching its mandate. But that's essentially an argument against transparency, Dr. Qureshi.
Well, I think political parties are about people. and they are the people who have passed the RTI Act itself. They want transparency in governance. People want transparency in governance. Unlike the media, they are part of the governance structure, power structure. The political parties are the ones who are ruling the country. There are others who might rule the country in future. Therefore, that way they are different from the media. It's not to say that media should not be accountable. For instance, the paid news of practiced by the media is a matter of great national concern as well. So, and in any case, the transparency of political funding has been consistently on election commission agenda, on national agenda. And about 12 years ago, Supreme Court had passed a judgment where all candidates are supposed to file 2 affidavits, one about financial transparency, the other about any criminal cases which are pending against them. All this is under the right of information. The people right to know. That is why that judgment was passed.
In fact, Dr. Krishna,
and the fact that political parties have been filing their returns with the Election Commission of all donations before more than 20,000.
Yeah.
I think they are very consistent with each other.